Live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook Live. Okay, it's a lot happening. And my dog is going to start now. Let me shut the door. So hopefully this is all of my hopefully all of my technology is going to work right tonight. I can see that some folks are coming on, but I haven't gotten notifications of who's on. So if you're coming on, welcome. Give me a shout out and let me know that you're here. Post a comment. Happy Mental Illness Awareness Week. Mental illness is not my favorite terminology. However, it's terminology that's used. And so I think it's important to use whatever formats we can and platforms we can to move forward all of the important issues that are coming about with mental health and children's mental health. And so, Mental Health Awareness Week is a great time to do that. So, this week, on especially on Pinnacle Partnerships Facebook page, as well as on the Instagram page for Pinnacle Partnerships. If you're not following us, please do so. We'll be posting lots of things all week about children's mental health and mental health awareness. So check that out. Follow us on all of our different social media streams. We try to switch them up so not everything is the same on every page. So yeah, hi Nancy. I need to get back to you. Go for tomorrow, but I'll text you later about that. So I just wanted to hop on tonight and talk a little bit about these times where we have the ability to highlight the importance of mental health awareness and recovery for children and adults. I'm a little off centered here. It's like driving me nuts. Let me see if I'm off centered on YouTube. It's better. So it's a time where we can really put a focus and shine a light directly on mental health and mental illness and what that means, and really try to help educate people and create an impact about the many different types of mental health diagnoses that there are. And that can be anything ranging from ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, to anxiety, depression, schizoaffective disorders, schizophrenia. Um, Especially, I want to say lately there's been a lot of talk about people with eating disorders. And so, eating disorders are a huge part of the mental health community and really require a high amount of support in order to really help move people through dealing with an eating disorder. And it's really hard for the person with the eating disorder and very difficult for the family and oftentimes the treaters that are working with people that have eating disorders. So a special shout out tonight for those who are battling and courageously working through your eating disorders. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You're beautiful how you are, and there's lots and lots of supports out there. If you need them, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to get you in the right direction. If you're a family or friend of somebody who has an eating disorder, or you think they may have an eating disorder, please let me know if you don't know where to turn, and I'm happy to do that. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, because I think in mental health awareness times, and there's different times of the year. So we know in May, we often celebrate mental health awareness for the entire month. This week in October is mental illness awareness. And so there's times where we have an opportunity to really highlight what is happening out in the world of people that are dealing with mental health diagnoses. And again, that number is extremely high. Current studies are showing between 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 people have a diagnosed mental health diagnosis or challenge. And so it is just that we as a community are sort of in the shadows, and we need to shine a light and help out all of those who are seeking treatment, in treatment, or are just on a daily basis working on their mental health, especially kids and families. Of course, as everyone who tunes into this page knows, my personal um, specialty, if you will, is working with families that are raising children that have mental health needs. And so I'm really happy tonight to be coming to you. And I'm back in my bathroom. I haven't been in my bathroom for a while because it's been so hot over the summer months. And I needed to have better air conditioning. So I'm back in my bathroom in my hideout spot, in the hideout spot where so many moms and dads and other people go to try to take a breather from all of the things that are happening when you're raising a child that has mental health needs. And I know I've always been one of the moms who, even as my kids continue to get older and older, somehow if I'm in the bathroom, the fingers like creep under the door, or there's always a knock at the door, or somebody's trying to start a conversation. So even the bathroom isn't even always the best hiding spot. But I feel like so many moms and parents and others can relate to um, what it feels like to be like, this is a place where I should have privacy, and taking a little bit longer to brush your teeth or wash your face, to have that moment to pull yourself back together again and open up the bathroom door and get back out there and be amazing and awesome and fearless in working with your children. And so that's really one of my messages tonight, is trying to be fearless. As my shirt says, this is one of my favorite shirts. I wear it a lot. I often wear it, even when people don't know when I'm wearing it, in times that I have a big meeting with for my son, or something that I'm a little unsure of. And so it's just messaging to myself about being fearless, and uh, that all of the great things that God has for us are often on the other side of fear. And so that's been a real core belief of mine that I've really been working on lately. And so, really trying to be fearless in my pursuits, with all of the things that I am trying to do to really shift the landscape for children's mental health and children's mental health awareness, and better services for kids and families in a number of different areas. And so I'm really excited about all of those things to come. And so, in that, tonight, I just wanted to start the week off and kick off this week of awareness by saying that we all have times where we are in a place of fear or uncertainty, and it can be really hard to move past that and sort of take the leap forward, or have the difficult conversation, or write the difficult email. And there are times where that doesn't always work out the way that we want it to, and there are times where it does. But I think being fearless in our advocacy, and being fearless in thinking about things in different ways, and being able to shift are really important things to finding success in a number of different ways for our kids and for our families. And it can be really difficult. I'm really just looking for people to support each other. As everybody who listens to any of my lives knows, I'm really trying to create a forum here for people to be able to connect with each other. Hey, Rosa. Yeah, bathroom is like the me time space, right? One of the questions I get a lot of times is, am I sitting on my toilet when I do these lives? I'm not. I actually bring in my stool for my vanity. And a lot of times I will actually use my toilet as like a miniature desk. It's over here to my right. And sometimes I'll use it as my mini desk if I have things that I'm going to show people, or if I'm have some notes of things that I want to make sure that I talk about, which tonight I'm just kind of Going off the cuff and just really want to put out some positive energy for everyone that is facing whatever it is that we're facing, whether that's hard times or okay waters. I know long weekends, and not everyone has a long weekend this weekend. It's kind of a funny holiday, but this is for many in the Massachusetts area a long weekend, and so it can be really on Sunday night when you're normally getting ready to get ready for the week and with the kids, and suddenly there's a shift in what's happening and what we're doing, and there's another day to fill with activities and all of that stuff. So hopefully folks are getting out and doing some fun fall activities and being successful in doing them. I personally have had a great week. My church has been having a conference all week. So I've been in church for many of the days this week. And my son usually does not come to church with us because it can be really overwhelming for him, the youth group, and trying to be with other kids in a setting that doesn't have a ton of support the way that he has in many of his other settings. But today he wanted to come to church with us. And so, again, we had to be a bit fearless in what we were doing. And my daughter and I went and we brought him to the youth group, and he actually did a great job. They came up for worship in the beginning, which can be sort of loud and sensory is challenging for us. But of course, my daughter, the amazing child that she is, ran out to the car and grabbed his headphones so that he could put on some noise canceling headphones. And that really helped us get through church services today. Hey, Diana. Oh, you never get on when I'm on. It's so exciting. Hey, girl. So it's been a great day for us, and we have a lot of things coming up this week. And so, again, in my um, theme of fearless tonight, I wanted to touch base quickly on some of the extenuating circumstances that families have to go through and think about when they have a child that is has mental health needs. And oftentimes families have extenuating circumstances outside of that. And so I wanted to share a little bit of my personal experience related to what's going on currently in my life. And I'm not going to get into too much detail. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to come forward pretty soon with a series related to this topic of families that have other types of needs that can be extenuating when they're trying to care for a child that has mental health needs. So, one of those, or what I want to share with you tonight, is that I personally am going to be having surgery this week, and it's preventative. And so, I'm being ahead of the, sorry, I feel like I'm off a little bit here. I'm ahead of the curve in terms of trying to be really aware of my own healthcare and making sure that I'm well for myself and for my kids. And I feel like over the years, I've had a lot of parents and families that I have worked with that have felt very um, have hit a lot of walls, and oftentimes people are judgmental when they have their own personal challenges that they are facing outside of their kids' mental health. And so I have been able to, over the years, cultivate a pretty good team. And I do take credit for that because I am an amazing mom. And I think that we have to stand in being great. And it can be hard to do that. I think, especially for women, for some reason, we have a difficult time saying when we're doing something well. And I've been able to cultivate a great team for my son, and people are aware that I'm going to be having surgery, and there are a lot of moving pieces to that and to our lives and what that may mean to him. And if he has fears about that, or if my daughter has fears about that. And so it's really something that people don't think about, is that when parents or caregivers have something else that is going on, oftentimes they are sort of shamed in some ways, or teams become really worried about what's going to happen if, a parent is going through something or is struggling with something. I hear about this. Thank you, Michaela. Michaela just gave me the virtual best mom award. um, so I think it's a lot of times I hear about it with parents or caregivers that are open and honest about disclosing their own mental health needs, and people really worry about that. By people, I mean providers, and oftentimes these are, like I said in the beginning, 1 in 4 or 5 people have a diagnosed mental health need. And, parents who have mental health needs, or who may have um, I'm getting close because I'm getting serious, or may have a physical need, or may have some sort of an illness that they're dealing with. Oftentimes, providers get really worried that because of that, they're not able to care for or plan for their child's mental health needs. And so I think that it can be very difficult for some people. Everybody has a different journey, but I have found that being open and honest with people about what is happening is really helpful. So I've done a lot of planning, and I think this is something that many folks don't think about when they're raising children that have mental health needs. Providers and natural supports, their own family, friends, may not realize how much planning goes into, if you as a parent or caretaker know you're going to be kind of down and out for a little bit. So, I know I'm going to be having this surgery and in the hospital for a day or so, and then home, but needing some support. And, the better part of the past month has been planning with my son's providers, with his school, with many of the different people that support him, so that they're aware of what is happening, and they can then hey Jen. um, Jen, I'm talking about when parents have needs and providers get worried about that. And so I'm just talking about that this coming week. I'm going to be having surgery, and how much planning I've had to do in order to make sure that everything is in place so that I can be well and be healed. And so I think it's something that providers get really worried about, is that parents suddenly are going to vanish or disappear or not be able to manage things, and that providers have a really hard time addressing that with families in a way that doesn't feel terrible. And I have had some providers in the past say some things to me that weren't great, not about this specific situation, but I've definitely had providers, question what I'm doing, or what I'm doing. And I know a number of families that have also gone through that. So all this to say that when, as families, we're like every other family. Every family has adversities and have things that come up and have different needs that come along, and no family can revolve and rotate around one person in the family. And oftentimes when you have a child that has mental health needs, there is that one child who is really, things are rotating around. And when somebody else has a need, it creates a lot of worry and waves in treatment, and in providers' treatment, and families and people being really worried about that. So I just want to say that we must be fearless in saying what our needs are. So I've been very open with my son's providers about what it is that I'm going to need over the course of the next couple of weeks as I'm getting back on the mend. And that I need people to be understanding. And I've been fearless in asking people to do maybe a little bit more than what they would normally do for my family to support us during this time. And I'm very grateful that the majority of people, hi, Melinda, the majority of people um, that are working with my family have been amazing and willing to go above and beyond to support me during this time where I'm going to make sure that I'm well so that I can continue to take great care of my family. And I also have a great group of friends and family who are also there, but it has taken an immense amount of planning. And so, as we are thinking about Mental Illness Awareness Week, I just want to kick this week off by talking about this topic of being fearless in what we're doing. Hey, Mike, and being fearless in saying what we need, being honest about when we have challenges that are outside of the norm of what providers are used to dealing with for our kids and our families. And so this week, as I have surgery, I know that I have a team that is put together and is prepared, and they know who to contact if I can't be contacted. And it has taken a lot. It has taken a full month of preparation for us to be ready, for me to be down and out for a couple of days. And so, as we all move forward through this week with mental illness awareness, I just ask that all of us as families, let's try to take a stance of being fearless as we move forward. And for those of you who are supporting us, whether you're providers or your families or friends, um, please hear the needs that we have and try not to judge them, and be fearless in asking us questions. I love when people ask me the real questions about my son or my family or our needs. And we can have open and honest conversations and really tear down and bash the stigma related to mental illness and mental health needs, and people really achieving full wonderful lives, whether or not they have a mental health diagnosis or not, whether they have a medical need or not, and all of the different parts that go into being a advocate and being a family member and a caregiver for a child that has mental health needs, and that sometimes we have our own needs and we have to put them first, and we have to be fearless in that. And just remembering that God has placed the best things in life on the other side of fear. This is my mantra um, lately. A lot of it, Will Smith. Will Smith lately on Instagram. If you guys don't follow him on Instagram, please do that, because he's just doing some things and saying some amazing things. And this is sort of something that he talks about a lot. So I've been in this fearlessness phase. And so I invite you all to join me in it. And as we move in through this week, I wish everybody a week of being fearless and closing your eyes and taking the leap and having the hard conversation and saying what your needs are and being really honest, and knowing that on the other side of that, we will find the best things in life for ourselves and for our kids. So I had no agenda for tonight other than to try to just put some positivity out into the universe. Um, if you're just seeing this video for the first time, please feel free. I would love it and be so honored if you followed my page, From Barriers to Bridges. In the top right corner, there is the 3-dot menu. And if you click on notifications, you'll be alerted whenever I come on live, which is typically on Sunday nights. I would also love if you follow my Facebook page for my business, Pinnacle Partnerships. That has its own Facebook page. You can just search for Pinnacle Partnerships. We're also on Instagram as well as Twitter. Twitter is at Pinships, Pinships. HPS. And then on Instagram, you can find us at Pinnacle Partnerships. And we have lots of things that are going to be coming up this week for Mental Health Awareness Week. So please follow us on all of our social media outlets and continue to do all of the amazing things that you do. And hopefully, I'll be coming to you next week if I am feeling well. If I'm not feeling my best, then I will be taking care of myself and I'll be back the week after that. So I wish you all a blessed week. Remember to be fearless as you step forward. We're warriors, we're amazing advocates for our kids and for our families. And we will always remember to prioritize ourselves and take care of ourselves, strong self-care and self-love. And I'm wishing everybody a beautiful and blessed week. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye. And on YouTube, thank you so much if you're seeing this for the first time. It is really fun to start to build our content on YouTube. And so, as you just heard, please follow us on all of our social media outlets. Of course, this is one of them. Please subscribe to our page, and you should be seeing a lot more coming from us soon. So, we will be seeing you. Have a blessed week. Bye.